I've hit a moment in my life where I just need to get out of my own way and write the damn thing. I need to stop stockpiling ideas in a notebook and actually start writing the things that I've said I want to write. I'm committing to getting up early at 6 a.m, maybe not 7 days a week, but as many of them as I can manage, and actually dedicating some time to writing. I'll be honest with you, week 1 did not quite go to plan, and I only managed one morning because it was a bit chaotic and my kids had me up quite a few nights, so just one time there. But week 2 has gone far better, and I actually feel like I'm making some progress with my writing projects. So what do I mean when I say I need to get out of my own way? In her famous lecture series, A Room of One's Own, Virginia Woolf talks about how difficult it is to actually get a project completed. Now, she talks about it as a work of genius, and I'm not here trying to suggest that I'm making any works of genius. But what she says is, everything is against the likelihood that it will come from the writer's mind, whole and entire. Dogs will bark, people will interrupt, money must be made, health will break down. Further accentuating all these difficulties and making them harder to bear is the world's notorious indifference. It does not ask people to write poems and novels and histories. It does not need them. It does not care whether Flaubert finds the right word or whether Carlyle scrupulously verifies this or that fact. And so the writer suffers, especially in the creative years of youth, every form of distraction and discouragement. My husband turned to me the other night and said, "Why aren't you writing anymore?" And initially, my gut reaction is always to say, "Oh, I'm just too busy, there's just too much going on." But I've since reflected on that, and I think that for me, I get that writing fix from doing my university assignments. I love writing essays, I know, bizarre. I really like the process of researching and then drafting a narrative around a question. So I really get that fix through university. I'm also really lucky to be attending a university with a really prestigious creative writing programme. And I've taken 2 modules in creative writing. One was sort of a general introduction to creative writing, and one was about working with and responding to Elizabethan literature, which have really, really filled that creative need for me. So what I'm saying is I haven't felt a lack of writing. I've still been scratching that itch, but I haven't been writing for myself. I haven't been working through all the projects and the ideas that I have in my mind, because for me, creative writing and writing for myself falls to the bottom of my priority list. Above them has to come university, it has to come family, and unfortunately, desperately seeking a job. But I realise that I want more than just university assignments. What happens when university finishes? What will I do after that? Shouldn't I use this time to actually complete some of the projects I've got on the go? So why 6 a.m, you might be asking? Well, if I don't get up early, then it's not going to get done. Once 7 o'clock rolls around, then it's time to get the kids ready for school. It's time to do university assignments. It's time to do the projects that I need to do for the various commitments that I have. If I get up early, if I get up at 6 a.m, then I have that hour before everyone else gets up, or at least before everyone else needs me, to just focus on a personal writing project. I'm hoping that it won't just be these early mornings. I'm hoping once I'm back to uni, I will start to find other pockets of time, because 6 a.m. is not necessarily when I feel my most inspired to write. It's just the time that I have currently prioritised for this. I'm hoping once the rhythms of being back at university this semester kick in, I'll start to find other areas where I can write. I'm also hoping to join writing groups and actually get some experience writing in collaboration with other people, and to just be around other people writing for the inspiration that sparks. But right now, 6 a.m. is my time that I have to write. Over the years, I've had a few ideas for projects, from articles I want to write, short stories, poems, novellas, but I've never seen one through to completion. But I don't think that I've dug deep enough as to why I'm not creating. In Art and Fear by David Bayles and Ted Orland, they talk about the fact that the fear of art making falls into 2 families: fear of yourself and fear of how you'll be received by others. My fear about myself is definitely at play here. I admitted to friends recently that even though I got firsts in both my creative writing modules, that I just felt that the lecturers were being nice and that I didn't really deserve those marks. I realise, saying it out loud, that this is absolutely ridiculous. They would never do that. They have rigorous marking criteria. But this is a story that was so deeply ingrained that I didn't question it. That was just how I felt about my writing. So there's an element of not believing that I'm good enough, but there's also an element of perfectionism at play here. I'm worried about the fact that my imagination, my ideas for what I want to create do not match my ability, or my ability does not match what I want to achieve. In the book, Art and Fear, they go on to say the function of the overwhelming majority of your artwork is simply to teach you how to make the small fraction of your artwork that soars. One of the basic and difficult lessons every artist must learn is that even the failed pieces are essential. But my perfectionism causes me a paralysis. I get blank page syndrome, and I think, I must do some more research, or I must do this before I can actually write the piece. What I need to be doing is actually just writing the work, whether it ends up being rubbish, whether it ends up being good, whether it's publishable or not. I just need to be doing the writing, practicing my art form, and getting my projects completed. I can read all the books about creative writing, take the courses, I can do all the preparatory work for these projects, but if I don't actually sit down and write them, they'll never get made. I will never get better. I will never improve. I will never create the piece that gets published. So if, like me, fear is standing in your way, this is your sign to just write the damn thing.